Have you ever thought your wedding day would be the happiest day of your life? But what if a stranger you invited brought nightmares instead of blessings? Or worse, what if someone from your past never let go and has been watching you every second? In silence tonight, I'll tell you 3 terrifying wedding horror stories, real experiences that the people involved will never forget. So buckle up, dim the lights, and whatever you do, check behind you. Because when the wedding ends, the nightmare might just begin. Story 1. The Groom in the Shadows. My wife and I got married on a crisp October afternoon in a centuries-old chapel in Coral Gables, Florida. Everything was perfect, from the golden sunlight, the ringing church bells, to Allie's radiant smile. We invited everyone, even some people we honestly didn't want their family obligations, you know. One of them was Aunt Chelsea, a black sheep of the family with a past full of addiction and long-standing tension. Chelsea showed up with a new boyfriend named Rob. From the first second, something felt wrong. Rob didn't fit in with anyone. He was pale thin with lifeless eyes and twitchy movements. He wore a wrinkled gray t-shirt with visible stains, arms covered in scars, and reeked of stale cigarettes and sweat. Whenever he spoke, the atmosphere around him would freeze. His voice, dry, monotone, and crude, kept cutting into our cheerful conversations like a blade through fabric. Even when people laughed, Rob's eerie chuckles made everyone uncomfortable. After the photo shoot, we moved to Comer Hall for the reception. I was busy shaking hands and thanking guests when Rob approached me again. This time he shook my hand too tight, long enough to make me wince. His breath hit my face, sour and sharp, and then he just walked away, saying nothing. Hours passed. I saw Chelsea sitting alone. I asked where Rob had gone. She said he'd disappeared nearly an hour ago. Allie, my wife, looked uneasy. That's when Chelsea admitted something that sent a chill through me. She and Rob had only met 5 times. They'd gotten to know each other at rehab. Soon after, a relative told me that a few wedding gifts had gone missing from the storage room. Suspicion turned toward Rob. A staff member was asked to make an announcement over the speakers. If anyone has seen a guest named Rob, please contact the event staff immediately. Chelsea started to panic. Her phone was gone too. Allie tried to stay calm, but her eyes gave away the fear. Later that night, we returned to our hotel suite for a small after-party with a few close friends. The music was soft. The wine flowed. Laughter tried to erase the tension. Then Allie's phone lit up. It was Chelsea's number. She answered and put it on speaker. All we heard was breathing. Long, raspy, slow. Chelsea, Allie asked, "Is that you?" No response. Then Allie. It was a man's voice, high-pitched, like mocking a woman's tone. "I'm still here." Click. We immediately called Allie's grandmother. Chelsea was staying with her. She answered and confirmed Chelsea had been asleep at home all evening. And yes, her phone had gone missing earlier that day. Allie broke down in tears. That's when we knew Rob had taken her phone. And now, he knew where we lived. Too drunk to drive home, we asked my father to go stay at our place. The next morning he called. Someone was outside last night, he said. Tapping, softly, on every window. Police were called. They found nothing. No suspect. No witness. No one ever saw Rob again. I don't know who Rob really was or where he came from. But I do know this. That look in his eyes. That slow breath on the phone. That feeling of being watched. They've never really left. And ever since our wedding day, I haven't slept peacefully again. Story 2. The Teddy Bear. That watched. Trisha and I had just gotten married in a cozy beachside ceremony. The late afternoon sun, the gentle crashing of waves, and the gleam in her eyes made me believe this was the start of a beautiful life together. But one small detail unsettled me. She invited Kyle, her ex-boyfriend, to the wedding. She said they still talked sometimes. Just friends, she explained. I didn't argue, but I didn't like it. At the wedding, Kyle hovered near Trisha, laughing, talking, standing a little too close. And no matter how hard I tried to ignore it, I couldn't unsee the way he looked at her like he hadn't let go. He showed up alone. No date, no family. Just himself. A cold smile. A presence that weighed on the room. The next day after we'd returned home, Kyle dropped by. Said he wanted to see the new house and hand-deliver our wedding gift. He gave us an envelope and a small teddy bear clutching a heart with our initials stitched on it. I thanked him, half-smile, tight grip. But something about the bear felt off. That night, in the middle of some private time, I heard a faint sound, like a soft electronic buzz, barely audible, but there. I looked around. No phones, no Bluetooth speakers. I brushed it off. Probably just a vibrating phone under the blanket. But then it came again. Persistent. Closer. Like it was in the room. My eyes landed on the teddy bear perched on the shelf above our bed. Later that night, with Trisha asleep, I picked it up. It felt wrong. The head was firmer than it should be. I grabbed a small scalpel from my toolkit and made a careful incision. And there it was. Inside the bear's head was a small electronic module, a tiny camera behind one of the glass eyes, a microphone tucked inside the ear, both connected to a Bluetooth transmitter. My heart nearly stopped. Kyle was spying on us, listening, watching. The next morning we went straight to the police. A formal investigation was launched. Our attorney filed charges. Kyle was arrested and later convicted of serious invasion of privacy. The court ordered him to pay $155,000 in damages to each of us, and issued a permanent restraining order preventing him from ever contacting Trisha again. But the fear didn't go away. Because if someone is willing to hide a camera inside a teddy bear, what else are they capable of every night? Since I still glance around the house before going to bed, checking behind shelves, under tables, just to make sure nothing else is watching. Story 3. The Bride at the Doorway. I live alone in a quiet neighborhood, the kind of small town where people don't even bother locking their doors. Nothing ever happens here, they say. I'm a healthcare worker working 12-hour shifts that leave me absolutely drained by the time I get home. That night was no different. I showered, had a quick dinner, then crawled into bed and started watching The Sopranos for the third time, by the way. My eyes got heavy. I dozed off to the low drone of dialogue on the screen. When I woke up, the TV was still on, but something about the room felt different. I reached for the remote to turn it off. That's when I heard it. A soft creak floorboards under the carpet. I froze. The room was dark except for the pale bluish glow from the TV. But in that dim light, I could see her. A figure standing at the foot of my bed. A woman in a white dress. I blinked hard. My heart stopped as the TV brightened for a second and I saw her clearly. A bride. A woman in a full wedding dress. Veil over her face. Still. Silent. She didn't move. She didn't speak. Just stood there. I bolted, upright spine pressed to the headboard, barely breathing. Then she took a step. And another. Slow, deliberate footsteps, her heels tapping against the old wooden floor. Then, she whispered. Soft. Raspy. Like wind slipping through a crack in the wall. "Where's my husband? Where's my husband?" She repeated it again and again, each time a little louder. until she screamed, "I have to get married." I screamed, jumped out of bed, ran to the bathroom, and slammed the door shut, locking it tight. She followed, banging on the door, sobbing, moaning, "I need to get married. I need my groom. Where is he?" I was shaking. I grabbed the phone and called 911, stammering through what had just happened. And then silence. Her footsteps moved away. Then the front door slammed like someone bolting out into the night. Police arrived minutes later. I told them everything, still trembling. They searched the area. No sign of her. Maybe she was mentally ill. Maybe just a lost wanderer who found an unlocked door. Or maybe she wasn't alive at all. The thought haunts me. That night I forgot to lock the door. Just one simple mistake. One thin barrier between me and something that doesn't belong in this world. Since then, I check every lock, every latch, every single night. And sometimes when I look at the doorbell camera, I swear I can still picture her, standing silently in a white dress, waiting. Where's my husband? 3 stories. 3 moments no one ever expects when the happiest day turns into a living nightmare. Whether it's the uninvited guest, the teddy bear with a hidden eye, or the wandering bride in white. Each one reminds us of a chilling truth. Happiness is fragile, especially when it's being watched by something that isn't alive. Thank you for staying until the end. And if you're still awake, tell me which story scared you the most, and don't forget, next time before you go to bed, lock your doors and check that teddy bear on your nightstand. Because sometimes, what's watching you isn't just a toy.